You certainly can change if I've changed.
Brian, an OG in the game, as my boy Derek's Reptiles likes to say. If he could change, there ain't no shame in us changing too. I'm Louie, flexing pythons. Today we're going to be doing a reaction video to a video that Brian Barczyk uploaded. Brian Barczyk's huge in the reptile community. He's huge just in the animal community. He's huge. Does a lot of cool stuff. He has the Reptarium, which I know it has a bunch of big anacondas, a place that I want to go someday. So when a guy like Brian Barczyk says a reason why he's changing the way he's keeping reptiles, that's kind of a big deal, because this is a dude that's been doing this for a long time, and for people to change their ways, something big has to happen, or at least something significant enough got them to change their mind on why they should change up what they've been doing for years. So the title right away, I really want to watch this, react to it. Not really expecting there to be too much humor, definitely expecting to hopefully learn and just see where Brian's coming from. So why I changed the way I keep reptiles.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the vlog. I hope the start of your day is absolutely incredible. We're going to start our day off with collecting a ball python clutch.
And that's what I know Brian from in the very beginning. Ball pythons. If you look back at my earliest videos, I bought ball pythons. I bought a pinstripe, a spider, but I got them from BHB. Got them from Brian, and I thought that was really cool that I had snakes from him at one point.
I started the first, 7 years of my career working with animals, really working with snakes like this, right? Basically, breeding them on a commercial level for the pet trade, right? It was like never really easy to see what they were doing inside the enclosures when you keep them in tubs. And that's what's really amazing, and I want to talk about today, is how the Reptarium really changed my entire perspective on keeping snakes and how awesome it is to be able to see them in an enclosure that comes around.
After he created the Reptarium, I'm guessing, he realized how he wants to keep them.
Now, I'm certainly not saying that you shouldn't keep reptiles in racks. As a matter of fact, I think some animals do well in racks.
I'm glad he's saying that now, because otherwise I'd have just looked awful right off the bat, because I got ball pythons in racks. And I imagine, because ball pythons like that stuff. So that's fine. I'm assuming he's going to be talking about other snakes that not to keep in racks.
In particular, ball pythons, I think that putting them into a larger enclosure sometimes really stresses them out, so they do well. So I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that my perception has changed a lot since we opened up the Reptarium. I mean,
look, that's the anacondas I'll tell you about. They got like this huge setup. You can see a big anaconda right there underneath that rock. There's some in the water, that waterfall. Man, I want to go there.
Enclosure like this with Ivy, Ariana, and now Jazz, to see them kind of how curious they are. When you go in their enclosure, to see them kind of moving around, seeing you. When things are happening here at the Reptarium, the animals actually coming out and actually being kind of curious, I think that's what I'm talking about. And it's really changed my entire perception. Again, as I walk around, I mean, just seeing, again, Cupcake, where sometimes she's up over here doing crazy things. Perdita is known for being right up on this branch, much like a green tree python, and that's what I'm talking about. The thing is that when you keep a reptile in a rack system, the only time you really ever see it is when you open up that rack, right? Now I can just sit back sometimes and just observe these animals and see what they're actually thinking. It's changed my whole perception on.
So that's what the ball pythons in there. I got my pet, just a pet, super dwarf retic behind me, who's beautiful. I named him Chance, by the way. Chance is beautiful, because the only chance I was ever going to get a retic is if I get one that's smaller and not a normal, and that was my chance right there. But what did I want? I want to get no tub for him. I wanted to make sure I could see him, glass, make it look nice in there, decorated. Put the unboxing of it in one of these corners. So I wanted to get that and watch him climb around, and he does all kinds of things. It's so fun to watch, as opposed to just a snake like him putting it in a rack and for people breeding and people do that, but for me personally, I want to keep them in there, let them stretch out and do stuff, and the ball python I put in a rack, and I feel, I'm guilt-free of that, because I know that they live in termite mounds in the wild, and they like it closed, and sometimes if there's too much space, they won't eat. They're just weird. Ball pythons are weird, so I feel no guilt there. But with the retic right there, and any other animals that I pretty much get in the future, as long as they don't like a dark, close, if they don't like stuff like ball pythons, I want to try to kind of show them off, but also give them enough room to be able to do what they like to do. Make sure they have enough room for sure. So Brian, and now the whole Reptarium is just amazing and beautiful, and you saw all the room anacondas have. He showed you the boa. I can't wait to go there and just keep showing me, Brian. It's changed Brian. I don't want to say it's changed me. I feel like I've kind of always been like that. So when I got him, I was excited to do it up for him.
on how to keep reptiles and their actual behavior, right? And that's what it's all about, is just seeing their behavior. Again, Al always loves to be on this ledge. It's just his favorite thing, right? He can go everywhere else. Sometimes he does climb on the branch, sometimes he's over here, sometimes he's down here, but his ledge is his favorite spot. I find that amazing.
I've noticed with Chance in the back right there, is that I have this little hide all the way at the top, and that's where he's always going up there. He's always chilling in there like 75% of the time, but he will go everywhere else, chill by the water a little bit, be under some wood. I got stuff all up in there, but pretty much 75% of the time he's going up to the very tip top where I got to hide under there. Sometimes he's on top, sometimes he's inside, but I do notice that too. It's like that's his spot. It's cool that you get to observe all that, and you don't get to do that in a tub.
We walk around and we just see Tiana, we see Sunfire, of course we see Salt and Pepper.
Giving all these animals
cool,
enough
room.
room.
And again, I'm not
so
dissing
cool
rat keeping, and again, BHB is still doing it, and we're going to continue to do it to some extent, although I think that will change over time as well. My point is that I just have changed everything of my thought process of keeping reptiles since we've opened up the Reptarium.
Initially, when he opened up the Reptarium, he had a different thought as to why he was doing it, and little did he know that by him doing it, it also would change his perspective on a lot of stuff. Man, life be teaching lessons, yo.
I can't even move. You got me in a anaconda on me.
She's constricted.
You got it, man. Don't worry about the one. Oh, that scared me.
Even like Lucy and some of my other animals that were kept in those type of enclosures for, you know, sometimes 2 or 3 years, and then I put them into these naturalistic enclosures. They just changed. Their personality honestly changed tremendously. I mean, I could see the difference in the animal itself. Of course, we know Lucy is still pretty cantankerous and she could be a handful, but my point is that even her, she became more curious. She climbs into the tree. She, like, you know, spends time in the water. She does all kinds of other stuff. We're learning too, right? We've only been doing this for a few years over here, so who knows what.
Yo, I love what the Reptarium is doing over there, and you just see all the room that they have, and it's crazy. Brian, to be able to tell that between so many different animals and the consistency of each animal acting different, all being more curious and going and doing stuff, and that he can tell the differences between each animal. I guess when he's seeing similar things amongst all of them, it kind of makes you change. You have to, because you can't be in denial about it. And then he's been enjoying it. He's really enjoying just watching them, and I can only imagine, because I love watching just him, right? Just watching him in there, and Brian got like everything he got in there just to be watching everything, crocodiles, all kinds of stuff.
What the future is going to hold and what we're going to find out that we're doing wrong now, that maybe 3 years from now we say, oh, when we change this, even more behavior change. So it's just cool to see these animals kind of flourish to what they really should be. That we always need to be growing and evolving, right? Hey, listen, for 27 years we kept reptiles pretty similarly, and I changed literally 180 degrees with my perspective.
Yo, if Brian, an OG in the game, as my boy Derek's Reptiles likes to say, if he could change, there ain't no shame in us changing too, you know? You just, if there's a better way, or a way that you feel better about it, yo, it's okay to change. It's okay. Brian, and he looks just enthused and happy, like super happy about his decision and just how he thinks now.
Perception of how to keep reptiles and how I want to keep reptiles now and in the future, to be totally honest with you. So if you're keeping animals or doing anything, you should always be learning and be willing to change and evolve, because when you do have that evolution, you never know what the opposite side is. And I can honestly tell you that in the 30 plus years that I've been working with reptiles, this is the happiest time I've ever had as far as interaction with the animals. I just feel more in tune with everything. I'm happier to come to work and see the animals. I'm always excited to be around these guys. So again, you certainly can change if I've changed. And I think that's important, that we're always learning and evolving.
I really like how Brian's thinking now about all this stuff, and it makes me, just by listening to him, make me want to even do better, because I know how I feel and what I want for him. Make sure I really give it my all for these dudes, you know? Because their lives are in our hands. Whatever their life and their world is going to be, it's going to be because of us. How good are we going to make it?
Gosh, look at how pretty. Now, what's the...
Yo, those ain't them golden-tailed geckos, are they? Yo, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the video is going to be up in the right-hand corner. Check out that video if you want to see what golden-tailed gecko is. Yo, if that's golden-tailed gecko, I'm going to leave the lid on it. You know me.
Pairing.
So this is Annabelle and Freddy Krueger. A couple months older.
Look how
Oh my
pretty
gosh, yeah,
they
you
are.
can start to
These guys.
really see the red and oranges coming through in them.
I want
But
one
when
just
these
'cause they
get
look
bigger,
cool.
they're going to be ridiculous. I mean,
Look at that one. It's hard to see because it's got
Yeah.
such a tiny
Wow.
head, but you
Yeah.
can see the little spots.
Oh my gosh,
around
yeah,
it.
spots on it. That's amazing. A scaleless clutch. This is that tiger scaleless stuff, which
Wow.
is that kind of scaleless animal that looks like a tiger. And it,
Now, I'm not someone that ever gonna try to breed and make any type of scaleless animals. I just feel weird about it. Like, it just, inside me, it feels weird. But I'm not hating on anyone that makes them. And they're beautiful and they look very cool.
of course, what's interesting about that is we didn't realize that they were het for axanthic or aneurystheristic. So basically, we're getting the black ones as
I
well.
do
So these
wanna
are
feel
black
what one
tigers.
feels like, though.
Unbelievable.
Brian posted a scaleless ball python. I remember that. That was huge. That was crazy. And look at him now. Everything can get scaleless now.
But for now, they are absolutely rippers.
Did you see that?
I was gonna grab it with the tongue.
Oh, Lance,
Wow.
the bug.
Dude,
Wait, what are you doing?
Wait.
dude, no, it's not.
Yo, I thought I was waiting for the tongue to come out. He just walked right on his finger. I thought chameleons don't like to be held, or they're not about that. This dude's just like, no, like,
No, he's not doing.
his tongue don't work.
This is not what you're supposed to be doing.
He's pretty, but he broke.
I think he just wants to play. Thanks for coming out and hanging out with us.
If you enjoyed today's video,
One thing about Brian's videos that I enjoy is that he does answer the question in his videos when you ask him, like, why I changed the way I keep reptiles. But in between his full answer, you see snippets of all these cool animals. So I highly suggest go to the original video so you don't miss out on just all the cool footage and then working with a bunch of other animals. You're not gonna wanna miss it. Very cool. This video was good and inspiring, I thought. For me, it makes me wanna keep, my retic. It makes me wanna make the enclosure even better. Better and better. What's wrong with that? Nothing. He's not saying that if you're keeping everything in racks that you're bad or awful. It's just saying that he's changed and this is why. So I hope no one takes offense to that. And I'm on board with it. Ball pythons, they like it in there. No guilt. Talked about it. But if I get, I got my retic, I want to make sure he always has enough room and try to make sure there's stuff to climb and just stuff to enrich his life. When I get a lizard, I want to do the same thing. And any animal I get in the future, I want to try to recreate as much as I can the same type of surroundings in its enclosure that it would have if it was in the wild. We all just want to take the best possible care of our reptiles, or just our pets in general, right? We all want to take the best possible care. Everyone got different opinions. If it makes you want to take better care of your pets, that's a good thing in my book. Anyways, I appreciate y'all for watching. Y'all have a good one.